favorite disgruntled dad. Check me out at disgruntleddad.net or shoot me an email at dad@disgruntleddad.net. With that, folks, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. Figured out that I can't use Bluetooth anymore. Obviously, I don't have the best production quality here. It's just not that much of a priority since square root of about 0 to 17 people actually watch the videos. So until I get a little bit of a following and increase the typical views, I'm not super worried about it because nobody cares yet. If you're one of the few that care, then thanks for coming along. Shoot me an email so we can chat and get things started up a little bit more. But today, what I want to talk to you about in the ongoing collapse of our nation, livestock. And you might wonder, where does this come from? Unless you watch regularly, one of those few, between YouTube and Rumble. And then you know, oh, okay, this guy does sheep. The one thing I've noticed, and I've been doing livestock, I've been working with livestock on a consistent basis. It's about 2019. It's not a whole long time, and I grew up with it, but as far as actual commerce, since 2019. And I'll tell you, everything has skyrocketed in price except the price of livestock. And so a sheep and a cow were going for the same price in 2019 they're going right now. There's minor market fluctuation, but on average, as I'm specifically looking at sheep here, but looking at the prices of the auctions in the newspaper, the prices haven't really changed much. So feed prices, and I'm looking for pigs on this one because I don't feed my sheep any feed, but I think it's some alfalfa pellets here and there, but that's a grass. Anyway, the price that I can sell a ewe or that's a female who can be bred, or a ram for, has actually gone down a little bit. Generally the same price though as it was in 2019. That's crazy because processing costs have gone up. I would spend $50 to $75 depending on where I went to get a sheep processed. Now it is over $200 just for one sheep, regardless of the size. Just because they're so small, pricing's generally $75 for them to kill it, $100 for them to put it in packages. And then there's taxes on that and some extra fees for disposal and whatnot. But it's about $200. When I first started in 2019, I get it done for less than $100. It was usually $75 to $80. That is how screwed up the market is. You can't sell a live animal for the cost of meat. I mean, if you go to Central Market, downtown San Antonio, and one of the wealthy neighborhoods, obviously if they have a Central Market, they're a wealthy neighborhood, but you're looking at about $25 a pound for lamb chops. Ground lamb is about $10, $12 a pound. I don't think they sell that much of it. I'm fairly certain a lot of it goes to waste because nobody buys it. Nobody wants to buy that. In fact, people will pay less for lamb than they will beef, which is also a little confusing, but even if it was the same price, that might make a little more sense, but just the amount of work you have to go to, the efficiency there, makes lamb a little bit more of a, not a commodity, they're more of a precious resource. I can't think of the word right now, I'm having a senior moment. But anywho, the actual cost for me to take with travel and markets and whatnot, for me to get a piece of meat to someone at a farmer's market is about $10, $12 a pound cost. So if I'm going to make any profit at all, I have to be at least at $15 a pound. People won't pay it. I can't do better, and this is really strange. Even for lamb chops and even wealthy neighborhoods, I can't get people to do better than, I think I did a lamb chop pack, 2-pound pack for $45. That's reasonable, but nobody wants the ground then, because I still have to, if I cut the price down on lamb chops that much, I really have to cut down the price on ground, and I can't get $8 a pound for that. And so it's this debacle here. Most people are so strapped for cash that they can't afford a quality locally produced animal. They can only afford something from Walmart, which the meat packing plants they get their meat from is just disgusting. These are animals that are sometimes literally beat to death. I mean, these packing plants, people, there's some sick, not everyone that works there is gross or a sick person, but there are some sick people that work there that just really get their rocks off abusing animals. And they do high high efficiency though. I mean, we're thousands of animals a day in one of those large plants. So they can get their net price on it. I mean, granted, look at a commercial hog farm, they usually turn about $13 profit per pig, which is why they have to do thousands and thousands. They're doing a couple hundred pigs a day. That's how big of an operation they're running. And they only have to turn a $13 profit in order to, I mean, that's all the labor, all the inputs, all the vaccinations, all the antibiotics, because they're disgusting living conditions. And they turn out a really crappy quality product. But the consumer, overall, can't afford anything better. So we're in a tough spot now. What are you going to do? You're going to keep paying for crappy meat at the store with all sorts of gross chemicals in it, because they just have to do that to keep the animals alive. It's a lot more efficient. Or you're going to move to your own backyard source. I'll tell you, this is where I think more people need to get just a little bit of land, and even if you have to buy hay and rotate that animal through a tiny little backyard, maybe a half acre. I mean, a quarter acre, I wouldn't do it. That's too tight, but at least a half acre backyard, you can get a couple sheep, two ewes and a ram, and just breed them once a year. And you got to separate off your ram then, but you got to do something to produce some of your own meat. Get some quail. As long as you can get grain, you're good to go there. If not, if grain ever becomes too unattainable, then okay, well, off goes their heads and into the freezer they go. Rabbits are an excellent solution. Tractor some rabbits around your backyard. You have absolutely got to start making some backup plans and redundancy in your meat preparation, meat availability. I can't sell it. People can't afford to buy it right now. Live animals, it costs me about $150 to keep an animal, and granted, no vaccinations or wormers. And so it's a little bit more of a premium product, but I prefer really clean meat. They're eating nothing but grass. I prefer really clean meat. I don't want the junk in it. And so that costs me more. The minerals are really the major expense there. But if you want to give yours some ivermectin, you got to rotate through wormers if you start worming them. But if you want to do that, more power to you. I also use St. Croix so that they don't require wormer because they're parasite resistant. Do the rotations, but what can you do? You can't leave rabbits on the ground for a long period of time, then get sick from bacteria that culminates in their urine. You got to keep them off the ground. But if you tractor them, move them around, and maybe a wire bottom or something like that so they can still get to the grass, that might be a solution for you. Either way, you have got to absolutely start making redundancies in your meat supply. Figure something out. I like sheep. They're easy. They're low key. They don't get too much trouble. Goats, just looking for trouble to get into. Rabbits, they're okay. They don't do too well in the heat, but you get Tamuk rabbits, and they do pretty well in the heat. That's what we run is Tamuk rabbits. I don't do quail. Just haven't really had the interest at the time. But find something you can do to add some extra protein to your diet. If you can get chickens, I guess get a few chickens. I'm really preferential to quail. They don't carry E. coli. They're incapable of carrying E. coli. So quail are a great example of a clean, efficient, healthy bird. It's very quiet. Especially if you're in a neighborhood that they won't let you have chickens. Quail, they make eggs, they make meat. 6-week turn on getting meat out of them. Excellent option. But figure something out. If you've got a little bit of land, and you really got to get some sheep. And do just enough for your family. I'm telling you, because this market is just, it doesn't make sense. It does not make sense to spend the time and the energy and then the money to produce an animal, get it processed, get it packaged, and go off to sell it somewhere. These are all the red flags. This market is falling apart. The U.S. economy is in steep decline. What can you do to shore up the eating capability of your family? Don't go hungry. Don't go eating the bugs. Don't go drinking your Soylent for the day. Get real food. Get some meat. Stack that freezer. You can get, usually, especially St. Croix, they love doing two twins. And so 2 ewes and 1 ram, you can get 4 lambs out of that per year. You're going to need to haul in a lot of hay if you're not in the right place. But generally speaking, if you've got at least a half acre with some hay, you can move them around a bit and keep the parasites down and just feed hay. But again, want to encourage you folks, figure out your meat situation. And don't just assume that you can go to the store forever and get meat. It's going down. Even restaurants and I don't want to say chow halls, but the places you go for food ecologists, whatever the heck that's called, Aramark runs them all. I used to work there when I was in college. Cafeterias, there you go. Maybe that's what they call them. I don't know what they call them these days. It's been a long time since I've been in college, but they're trying to trick people into getting non-meat meat substitutes. So it's like the soy meatloaf and crap like that. They call it nudging. It's a sales tactic. And actually, Jack Speargood does a really good job diving into this on the Survival Podcast here for Monday, May 6th, I believe it was. Give that a listen. But you've got to be looking at this stuff. Read the tea leaves. They do not want us to have money. Grain has done a 5-6x since 2019. Processing costs are super high. If you can't do it yourself, you won't be able to afford it soon. So that's my big takeaway here is figure out what you can do to produce your own meat. And I'll tell you, my family's we're about to just be eating lamb. Why don't I do cattle, you might ask? One, we don't really have enough grass for that. Only 12 acres. It's not an optimal situation for cattle. But also, you get a bad cow, you got a bad problem on your hand. They will mess you up. And we just don't have I don't have the squeeze and all the infrastructure to effectively handle cattle. I don't want to spend thousands of dollars getting that infrastructure either. So, a multitude of reasons here I don't do cattle. But sheep, I like them. If sheep's bad, I just run it down and grab it, tackle it. We're done. Problem solved. I can tie it up and throw it in the passenger side of the truck if I need to. But anyway, folks, that's all I got as I get pummeled with tar chips from this big tractor trailer driving down 35. With that, folks, please reach out. DisgruntledDad.net, dad@disgruntledad.net. Share, like, and tell people about this. Please engage in conversation. What kind of stuff's important to you? I can't overemphasize the importance of building community and those relationships, whether it be, well, some online is okay. You know, I'm happy to engage with you folks and give you ideas and feedback and things I've figured out over the years as I've been on this agricultural journey. And I mean, I've done aquaponics, hydroponics, and all of the above. I've worked with some cattle. I haven't touched buffalo or yaks, but everything smaller, I've absolutely worked with. Happy to help you. Happy to help you out. But really, get in those in-person communities. With that, folks, have a great week.